You guys will tell me about the timer, right? Countdown. We still have time. We're starting? Hello and welcome to On Scene, powered by Volvo. We are here at this beautiful hotel W Muscat, which is located in Shatipuram. You know, the best part about this hotel right now is they're offering a great package of staycation, which is for just 65 Omani Riyals plus plus. Other plus point is that you can, with this package, you can actually have early check-in and late checkout, as well as this package includes breakfast. For more details and reservations, you can check out their social media accounts as well as their website. Secondly, you have noticed that today is the 50th National Day that we are celebrating in the country. And on this momentous occasion, I am dressed Omani, courtesy to Zafaf Boutique, which is located in Mawale. Do check them out. They have some amazing packages and amazing offers and beautiful Omani clothes there. In today's show, you'll be seeing a lot of interesting guests coming in and out, and we'll be talking to you directly. But stay tuned to TTV for more interesting segments.
In 1970, only a few Omanis had access to hospitals. Today, medical facilities are available throughout the country. The Sultanate has the world's highest growth rate in healthcare and is known for its world-class healthcare system.
Because of the support of His Majesty and his government to the healthcare in Oman now is being used actually as an example of how healthcare should be established and run. 1970-71, when His Majesty became the Sultan of Oman, the life expectancy in Oman was around 50 years only. The mortality, the death rate in pregnant women and infant, that's less than 1 year old, and children below 5, was one of the highest worldwide actually. Today, our life expectancy exceeded 76 years. The death rate, the mortality rate in children below 5 is less than 9.5.
In 1970, the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said bin Taimur embarked on an extensive modernization program of Oman, a path which has been known as the Blessed Renaissance. Back then, there were only 10 kilometers of paved roads. Today, there are about 20,000 kilometers of highways.
I was traveling from Matrah to Nizwa in 1 week on the camels. In 65, I ride the camel and go to Nizwa in 7 days. Today, I turn my key, I go to Nizwa in 1 hour 30 minutes.
1973 saw the opening of the Muscat International Airport, then called Seeb International Airport. The following year, the port of Sultan Qaboos was inaugurated. In 1977, Salalah Airport became operational, while its seaport, the port of Salalah, begins operations in 1998. In 2018, the new terminal of Muscat International Airport opened. It has a capacity of 20 million passengers per year and has since won international awards since its inception. In 1980, the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said bin Taimur helped in the formation of the Gulf Cooperative Council, an alliance of the 6 Arab Gulf states, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar. Before 1970, the literacy rate of Omani women was low. At present, almost 50% of the students in the country are female. In 1986, the government set up Sultan Qaboos University with an initial 5 colleges. Since then, the Sultanate has achieved the highest growth in education in the world. It is ranked high among countries that have a highly developed education system. The Central Bank of Oman was established to regulate the banking system in the country, and by 1988, a royal decree sets up Muscat Securities Market. Oman has a high ranking in the world for its highly developed economy. Per capita income in the Sultanate increased by over 35 times, repositioning the country among the high and medium income countries. The oil sector is considered as the prime mover of Oman's economy, contributing the largest share of public revenues. The government's evolution is still continuing, implementing structural changes in the national economy, diversifying its production base and reducing its dependence on oil. His Majesty Haitham bin Tariq was sworn in as the new Sultan of Oman on Saturday, January 11, 2020.
فإننا بعد التوكل على الله ورغبة منا في ضمان استقرار البلاد نشير بأن يتولى الحكم السيد هيثم بن طارق، وذلك لما توسمنا فيه من صفات وقدرات تؤهله لحمل هذه الأمانة.
His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, in his coronation speech, paid tribute to all that Sultan Qaboos bin Said bin Taimur had accomplished, assuring the citizens, residents and world leaders. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq promised to continue the Sultanate's policy of strategic neutrality and work for regional peace and security and the prosperity of the nation.
It's a great day for all of us in Oman. It's 50 years since the Renaissance. And looking back, what's been achieved over the last 50 years in all aspects of our life in Oman is tremendous. And the work, of course, will continue the era of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq Sultan Oman, Hafidhahullah.
And I think we have to follow the instruction being given by the committee to make sure that we celebrate this very important event to all Omanis with less risk, trying to make sure that this moment or the celebration of this National Day we enjoy it, even though COVID-19 hold us being apart, social distance, but still I think we have to live and enjoy the moment of what we achieved in the last 50 years.
رسالة الوزارة أن كل فرد قادر أن يمكن نفسه ويكون قادر على أن يكون ابن من أبناء الوطن الفاعل في التنمية لعمان. وهدف وزارة التنمية هي الرفاه الاجتماعي وأن نصل إلى تحقيق ما يتمناه المواطن العماني.
يسعدني حقيقة أن أشيد بالكرم الضيافة لدى الشعب العماني تجاه أشقائهم من مواطني دول مجلس التعاون الدول العربية وتجاه مواطني الدول الصديقة الذين يزورون سلطنة عمان. يعني يتمتع الشعب العماني حقيقة بود وحسن تعامل مع زوار البلد والمقيمين فيها، فكثيرا ما نشهد يعني حقيقة قيام المواطنين سلطنة عمان بالترحيب بالزائر
من التعاون المشترك في كافة النواحي مما يحقق مصلحة الشعبين، وهناك حرص تام على المستقبل للتعاون المثمر الإيجابي في عالم بات يتجه نحو بناء التحالف والشراكة القوية.
وأخيرا نتمنى من الله العلي القدير أن يشمل الدولتين سلطنة عمان الشقيقة والإمارات العربية المتحدة بالخير والسلام والطمأنينة لشعب البلدين، ولكم مني كل الشكر.
Wearing a seatbelt is a terrible idea.
It's a terrible, terrible idea. They're calling it a violation of human rights.
For me, it saved my life. That wasn't the day to die, basically.
Welcome back to TTV On Scene, powered by Volvo. And like I promised earlier today that we will be having very interesting set of guests coming in and out of the show. And having said that, we have our first guest joining us today. Let's welcome Engineer Ali Al-Barwani, who is one of our regular guests. Thank you so much, Engineer Ali, for joining us and wishing you a very happy 50th National Day.
Thank you very much, and I'm really glad having me in this very special day with a very special occasion in a very special arrangement, mashallah.
Absolutely, like you said, special arrangement. We are here at W Muscat that is located in Shati Kuram. Do you know, Engineer Ali, the W Muscat is actually having a staycation offer with just 65 Omani Riyals plus that includes breakfast for 2 and also early check-in and late check-out.
Wow. That's something great and it's good. Is this only for the National Day, or that's something to happen for a longer time?
For more details, Engineer Ali, you can actually check out their social media accounts and their website. I'm sure it's throughout the month.
Fantastic.
So, Engineer Ali, 50th National Day, huh? Yeah. Long journey for the Sultanate. How do you feel?
Oh, that's you said it is a journey, and a lot of winning through this journey, through the years, a lot of things happening in this country. You just see it. I think as a one word, we say here in Oman, Alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah, thanks to God, because we had this journey. We had a leader in the late Sultan, God bless him, Sultan Qaboos. He made this country kind of a heaven for citizens. And when we say this one, I know the expression or the word won't be enough to say how is the feeling itself. But 50 years is quite a journey. Well big for the word. Is happened with harmony, with achievement, but with a challenge as well. Sure that you and me sitting in this wonderful hotel, W, this is one of the fruit of the journey that Oman got in the last 50 years. We enjoying a country with really high infrastructure, everything available. People is educated. We have a very good brand and reputation in the world. Money winnings is quite long list. So if you talk about it, you will never end, and I'm sure your program today is gonna remark this occasion, and many other guests, they will add up, and I'm sure won't be finished and won't be enough. But the feeling is great. The feeling is great, and we are really blessed, honestly. Peaceful, safety. We people, we can live with each other in a very good way. Things is available. All this thing is make you really blessed. So I'm feeling blessed with the country, plus His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, and wishing all the best as well for our new leader, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq.
Thank you, Engineer Ali. You know, you just mentioned some really valid points about safety, security, and the availability and the infrastructure. These are some of the vital sectors and vital things that actually has been developed in these 50 years. Asking about these 50 years, Engineer Ali, do you remember celebrating your first National Day in the Sultanate?
Yeah. Something nice, by the way, for the country. The celebration of National Days is always something nice. Even now, when we see the memory in TV, we saw the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos as well supervising, or he is always the heading this celebration, because in 50 years Oman is more around the late Sultan, God bless him, Sultan Qaboos. So the first national celebration, I think in mid-80s, that's what I remember, maybe 85, where I participate, in fact, myself in one of the in my hometown in Ibra. So many people normally they participate in celebrations, specifically if you are a student in a school, because they do a kind of celebration which is bringing all school together. And then there is, of course, the national anthem, and then the national song, and all the nice dress, the national dress, And I can see someone today, she is dressing really wow.
Yeah. Thank you. You know, courtesy to
So all those
Safa.
those memory is bringing. But if a time, I think I remember that year.
Yes.
And this came, by the way, after the 83. There was something they call it youth year, because it's happened in Oman. Is they sometimes some of the year they make it specific for like youth. In 1983 there is another youth year. In 1993 there is the women as well year. There is the agriculture year. There is the industrial year. So quite kind of very nice theme that His Majesty put in the, and this is always the announcement is happening in the National Day, and then the country focus more in that theme that His Majesty normally nominated during the national days. So if you bring the memory that we always waiting, what will be the next year? Will be for what? So that's something, yeah.
Something that everyone looked forward to.
Exactly.
But
Something
this year,
nice.
unfortunately, engineerly, COVID-19 took over the world, and I know the celebrations have been halted. In fact, when I was speaking to the Minister of Health, His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Saidi, he told me that His Majesty gave strict instructions that this year the celebrations will be limited because the safety and health of people are more important than the celebration.
That's very true. That's very true. In fact, today in his speech as well, His Majesty himself, he mentioned that supposed to be this year to be quite, there was some kind of planning, but because of COVID-19 is being converted because the health is a priority, of course. But yes, COVID-19 may succeed to make limitation for people to meet and together because for the health precautions. Right. But I'm sure the hearts of people and citizens in this country, they are all celebrating.
Yeah, the spirits are high.
Exactly.
So, engineerly, you have been in the safety and road safety department for quite some time. How have you seen the development and the progress of this particular sector in the country?
Oh yeah, you are right. In fact, I was heading and CEO for one of the associations, is non-profit organization called Oman Road Safety Association. And road safety is one of the very important things. In fact, the late Sultan again in 2009, he speak about the road safety and how it is so important in this country. Now the development is a huge development in number of things. You see, for the road safety, there is three main items. Of course, there is the people, which is you need to really educate them, the driver, including as well the passenger, I would say, on the people. So this is one item. The second one is the infrastructure, the road, which is we can see now in Oman, mashallah, really very nice roads to the top standard. When we say top standard, that means with all safety design is built in. Then you have, of course, the vehicle itself, and you can see the with the consumer protection and authorities here in Oman is as well the vehicle themselves as well. There is kind of high development in the law how to maintain all those things in a good way. So all those three items you can touch and see big progress. Education for the drivers, for the people, the way they are as well approaching this driving school, it's totally changed. Long time it was so simple, so easy.
Was it like the first try you would get a license? Because now you have to have multiple tries.
Exactly.
They make sure that you're a perfect driver.
You need to be good to drive on road, yeah?
Yes. So I really like that they make sure that you're an excellent driver and then they issue you the license.
Exactly. I think that's what's happening even for the youth. When they come, they need to have 1 year first of all, and then they give them the permanent license. If they prove themselves, they are a good driver.
Right.
But alhamdulillah, I would say there's big progress in this one, and let's hope that always the road safety to be one of the best here in this country, inshallah.
I also remember, Engineer Ali, that during one of our many interviews, you know, when you were talking about road safety, you said that every year the Sultanate is seeing a decline in road accidents because people are getting aware. And like you said, the education for the driver, for the people issuing license, it's getting more strict and more regulated now.
Very true, very true. That's what exactly happened because the Sultanate they involve in kind of initiatives, in fact it's worldwide, but to decrease or decline the number of deaths. They're starting, they call it decade, In fact, is for one decade. That's been from 2010 until 2020, which is today. And they're successful to reduce the number of the fatality because of the road accident to less than 50%. So well done for the authority, for the people, in fact, because they all follow the good rules, good regulations. And this is one of the secrets of the country, by the way. So that's why we are living all in a very good harmony. That means the winning is always being shared with everyone.
Yeah. Right. So generally now, talking about the National Day.
Yeah.
And I know that COVID, like we mentioned, that COVID has halted all the plans.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the National Day?
One, today there is a firework at 8 p.m. and you should not miss the fireworks for
Absolutely.
30 minutes. It's
Yes.
always joy to watch them. And of course, in fact, already we started the celebration at the morning in my office with my colleagues. So we got the Omani halwa, and we got the kind of online celebration because for the COVID-19 we cannot be physically close with each other. So we use the technology.
Right.
Was the national anthem. After that, the message from our CEO in the company, and then kind of the very nice contribution from the staff, showing their dress, their kids, some of the national song, which is so lovely, by the way. You can watch them, listen to them,
Yeah.
either in TV or in WhatsApp. They're always reaching you. They will find a way.
Yes.
You will see your address is there in many of those pictures because it's so fantastic with the colors, the green, the red, the white, the flags as well around, and all this thing is quite kind of a very nice atmosphere, I would say. Yes, the talk is online, and plus of course you can see kind of logos and symbols in the WhatsApp with the flags, with many other things.
Right.
Is give you that feeling, and which is great. Today as well we listen and we heard His Majesty Sultan Haytham talking to the nation and mentioning very good news and ensuring that the good Oman is here to stay and will continue the progress. And this exceptional year gonna pass, and things will go to inshallah better in the coming future.
Right. Generally, you mentioned that you're from Ibra, right?
Yes.
So are there celebrations in Ibra different than the celebrations in other of the cities or regions? How does Ibra celebrate National Day in general?
Yeah. See, in the normal, we would say, is normally is the same style, but there's from wilaya to another, the traditional music, if you like, or traditional dance is sometimes different. So there's something famous for Ibra is different than in Salala or different than in Sur. So that is basically the difference between the wilayat. But because of the one country, the unity happening as well, the program for National Day celebration is normally as well as starting with the wali of the wilaya. And the wali of the wilaya, then he is together with all the people there, the school they contribute. They always making a program daytime and as well evening time. Of course, around kind of nice meals, the Omani halwa, this is to be always there. So Ibra as well is doing such things. Dress, that is always there. By the way, I think your dress is very close as well to Ibra dress. Even
Really?
I know that. That is from which area? Do you know that?
I don't know. It's from Zafaf Boutique, and she gave me the options. I was actually surprised in generally to see that different vilayats and regions have different style of dresses.
That's true.
So it was really hard to pick because all were so beautiful and different and very unique.
But it's so nice.
Thank you so
and
much.
You are like Ibra girls now. I can see
I'm
that.
Omani today.
You are.
I was always Omani in my heart, but today my appearance is Omani
Yeah,
too.
I think everybody, people who are in this country, they all feel all the same. And this is something nice, by the way, is always the happiness is for everybody. Is regardless who is the young or old or kids or non-adult, woman or man, he is visitor or he is reside here, nationalism or citizen, working, everybody sharing the same thing. And that's the lovely thing about kind of National Day or celebration.
Generally, automatically have been wishing people happy 50th National Day today, although I know I'm an expat in the country, but it doesn't occur to me because everybody's living together, like you said, in harmony and peace, so it really feels like it's a celebration for everyone in the country.
100%, 100%. The smile is with everyone. So keep smiling.
So engineering, next week is going to be 4-day long weekend. Are you planning to go to Ibra?
Most likely, yes, because quite long, so I will go. As well, I have my own place there, so then that will make it easier, specifically with the COVID-19 thing. So yes, I'm planning to be there. And looking forward as well for the time. Looking forward more that COVID-19 to start disappearing with the good news recently.
I really hope so. We all are really praying hard for COVID-19 to disappear in the country.
all the same. So just to pray and to be high. But we already seen good signs, and those good signs, inshallah, gonna be faster. And that's what the hope that we are looking forward for.
Inshallah, inshallah. Yeah. So engineering, if your Ibra plan did not work out, you know where to come and spend your 4 days holiday.
Yeah, you already mentioned it at the beginning. I think, in fact, it's a fantastic place. It's a nice place. Yeah. I've been here before. I came to this place and have a dinner, so why not? Maybe I can look as well for these nice packages.
I think I'm definitely going to be looking into it.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for the W Hotel as well.
Thank you so much, Engineer Lee, for joining us today on this momentous occasion. Wishing you once again a very happy 50th National Day, and to your family as well.
Oh, thank you very much. I think it's happy National Day for everyone, and really thank you for having me as your guest. And you all look fantastic, mashallah.
Thank you so much,
keep it up, huh? You need to dress it for a longer time.
Thank you so much.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, and thank you for all the viewers, and wish you a very long, good weekend next week, inshallah.
I therefore wish, on behalf of the Republic of Kenya and her people, to congratulate His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq and the Sultanate of Oman on the celebrations of the 50th National Day. I also commend the Sultanate of Oman, especially the health and security officials, all under the wise guidance of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, for their relentless efforts towards curbing COVID-19.
Well, it's been a wonderful journey, actually. It's been a great surprise, a pleasant one for me when I was appointed to be the ambassador of Egypt in Oman. In my point of view as an ambassador here is that from a political point of view, Oman is a very special school when it comes to politics, when it comes to neutrality, when it comes to the positive role that it plays within the region, and I would say even in the world, if we can go to that extent.
بلندپایه این کشور، سلطان معظم عمان، دولت عمان و همه مردم این کشور دوست و برادر تبریک عرض میکنم. بهترین آرزوها، بهترین خوبیها رو برای این سرزمین، برای مردمان اون، برای مسئولین این کشور از خداوند متعال مسئلت دارم و امیدوار هستم در پرتو رهبری خردمندانه سلطان عمان جناب سلطان هیثم و با کوشش و تلاش همه مسئولین و با همبستگی مردم ما هرچه بیشتر شاهد رشد و شکوفایی و اطلاع این کشور همسایه باشیم. فرصت مغتنم می شمارم به روح ملکوتی مرحوم سلطان قابوس درود میفرستم.
The future is very bright as we will be under the wise and able leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq on Omani side, and on Tanzania side there is able leadership of President His Excellency President John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, who has transformed Tanzania and created a favorable environment for foreign direct investment to flow in Tanzania. I would like to conclude by wishing His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq good health so that he can continue to govern Oman and bring more prosperity and development to Omani people.
في هذه الظروف الصعبة التي فرضتها جائحة كوفيد-19
أن يتجاوز هذه الأزمة الصحية التي فرضتها هذه الجائحة على السلطنة كما على باقي دول العالم بفضل التوجيهات الحكيمة والسديدة لصاحب الجلالة السلطان هيثم بن طارق حفظه الله في أفق أن ينعم الشعب العماني ويستمر في الرخاء والازدهار والتقدم والنماء والتحديث.
Wearing a seatbelt is a terrible idea.
It's a terrible, terrible idea. They're calling it a violation of human rights.
For me, it saved my life. That wasn't the day to die, basically.
This occasion is also a moment to pay tribute to late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said. God bless his soul, this visionary leader who led his country relentlessly and continuously to the level of progress and prosperity it's enjoying today. Omanis should take pride in all these achievements accomplished all along the past 50 years, and which will continue certainly with His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, who pledged to follow the same pathway of his predecessor, leading his country to a bright future.
Indeed, it's a great pleasure as the 11th Ambassador of Turkish Republic to the Sultanate. My tenure here overlaps with this glorious occasion of the 50th anniversary of the National Day of the Sultanate. And what I am seeing is half century passed in the modern history of Oman under the wise leadership of late Majesty Sultan Qaboos with the modernization of Oman, and I think next 50 years will be marked by productivity, innovation and economic development under the visionary leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq.
On this occasion, my family and I would like to wish everyone very happy 50 National Day.
And at that time, Tanam was a place which had a hospital where the eye patients supposed to be seen. So that gave me very quick knowledge about the countryside and the people whom I met in various places, and I felt very at home.
I would like to
mention that with the strong foundation laid by late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and the present Sultan, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said, his vision of Oman's 2040, with already developed infrastructure, with its Oman's geographical advantage, with Oman's rich natural resources, with Oman's stable policies, and being Oman as a beacon of peace in the region, Oman will attract many investments from abroad.
Welcome back to On Scene, powered by Volvo. We are here at W Muscat Hotel, which is located in Shati Kurum area. Do check out their offers that I have been talking about. The staycation package, which is for just 65 Omani Riyals plus, including breakfast for 2, early check-in, late check-out. Do check out the details. And now joining us is yet another special guest. Let's welcome Dr. Ismail Al-Abri. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail, for joining us today. Wishing you a very happy 50th National Day.
You look very elegant today.
Dr. Ismail, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello?
Dr. Ismail, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Dr. Ismail. Wishing you a very happy 50th National Day.
Hi, thank you for the invitation. Hope that you also can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, very good. Okay.
So
you look very elegant today, mashallah.
I'm sorry, Dr. Ismail?
I'm saying you look very elegant with this dress.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Ismail. You know, courtesy Zafaf Boutique. They dressed me in authentic Omani attire today.
Very nice, very nice.
And it's so good to see you so formal today without your scrubs for the first time in Omani clothes. For a few seconds I was like, is this Dr. Ismail or is someone else sitting in front of me?
Yeah, he's the one, yes.
So happy 50th National Day to you, Dr. Ismail. How do you feel on this particular day?
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, let me start first to congratulate His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al-Mu'azzam and all the Omani citizens, all people who are living in this country for this very special occasions for everybody who is living in Oman, okay, and who knows Oman. And this is a time and a day of course, of celebration, a day of remembering, and a day that is usually, it's in all of our hearts. And hopefully that, although the celebration today is kind of limited because the reasons but still we feel it in our hearts, we feel it around us, and we feel the warmth of all the people who meet us today, and everybody is happy despite what's happening.
You know, Dr. Ismail very rightly said that due to COVID, we all know that due to COVID, the celebration has been limited, but the spirits are really high. I have been talking to a lot of people, and I could see the disappointment in their face that, they cannot celebrate the way they imagined to celebrate the 50th National Day in the country, but they're still very hopeful and positive that next year they're going to double the fun.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully also that, we're going to hide it this year for next year. Yeah, that's a good plan, yes. Yeah.
So, Dr. Ismail, that we know that because of COVID, things have been halted. How has it been with you these days, especially, that the National Day is coming up, and I know that you are really busy with Royal Hospital and a lot of patients. How has it been for you these past days?
Of course, we have been preparing for this occasion. We have prepared few videos, a small limited celebration, receptions for the patients, who have an appointment with us today. We celebrated, we congratulated all our patients, and there was like halwa, Omani halwa in the entrance of the hospital, and of course everybody was dressed differently today. Most of them, they didn't come on scrub. Most of the doctors came on
Omani dress, and then the Omani abayas with Omani flags. So it was still different today. I mean, we still felt the people's celebration. Okay, so it was like it was a nice and warm day, despite what's happening. Despite there are patients next to us who are still requiring intensive health care. Okay, but still people celebrated. Yes, I mean, this is life. We have to go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dr. Ismail, you are in the health sector on the front line. How, in these 50 years, how have you seen the journey of the health sector in the country?
Okay, of course, that's a very good question. Of course, I'm not yet 50, so I have seen few of it. Okay. All right. So, what of course, one of the most remarkable, I would say development happened in Oman. Probably, if the most important one is the health sector, and as you know, and as we see in the videos that in 70s, where how the healthcare was in the beginning of the before 23rd of July to 1970, there were practically no hospitals, as we know by the definition of the word hospital. There were no hospital. It was like only few things equipped with very basic equipment for healthcare. There probably there were no healthcare that people know today. Okay, it was only very basic, and people were not even getting it. It was only in Muscat. There was no hospitals in Nizwa. There were no hospitals in other places. No hospitals in other regions. So there were only three, basically one hospital that is called the Rahma Hospital that time. Alhamdulillah, now we have more than 85 hospitals around Oman, and the majority of them are under the Minister of Health, care. We have thousands of beds. We have now thousands of doctors that who are looking and taking care of patients. So it was initially very, was very fast. So there are many perspectives that we can talk about in healthcare development in terms of buildings. But the most important that I see, and to me, is the human resources. The human resources actually was one of the most important major achievements in in healthcare as an achievement. We are proud to see that the majority of very highly specialized areas in healthcare are now taken care by Omanis. Okay, there are consultants, there are technologists, there are nurses who are being trained here and abroad in the best centers in the world, and they came to serve their country. They came to improve the healthcare here, and so that is one of the most important actually achievements in the past 50 years.
Dr. Ismail, you just shared the beautiful journey. Like you started that there were practically no hospitals or one hospital back then, and now today it's more than 80 hospitals in the country, and majority are under the umbrella of the Ministry of Health. Having said that, Dr. Ismail, are there any particular specialities that you still would like the upcoming generation to look into so that that gap is also filled?
Yeah, that's a very good and smart question actually. And as you know, initially there were not many specialized consultants and doctors, but now it's starting to be covered by by national doctors. But there are still few specialities. Like for example, we still have issues with our cardiologists. So still we need cardiologists for the regions. We have a good number of cardiologists in Muscat, but the other regions there are still shortage of cardiologists. Of course, one of the most important specialties that we are in shortage of is anesthesia. Anesthesia is a specialty that is vital for all hospitals, for all healthcare facilities, which like in the past years, people were trying to join this specialty, but it has been slower kind of than other specialties. Okay, of course, as you know that we have in Oman probably close to 90,000 deliveries per year. So obstetrics and gynecology is also an important specialty that is yet to be covered, and we need a good number of trainees to cover this area for the next few years. And the other thing is that probably the first generation also of consultants are, some of them are close to retirement age. So we will need the second generation also probably in all specialties. So, and luckily we have a plan for this. Luckily there is the Oman Medical Specialty, board, the Minister of Health, the Directorate of Health Specialization, all collaborating to check, where are the specialties that are required and what kind of doctors we need for the future.
Thank you, Dr. Ismail. Now, Dr. Ismail, you already made it very clear in the beginning of the show that you're not 50 years old, so we will not touch on the 50 years literally. But I just wanted to ask with you, how was your first National Day celebration, and what do you remember of your first National Day celebration?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I remember, I think it was probably 1991, if I remember. The 1991 was, I think there was a celebration for the agriculture, or 92, I'm not really 100% sure, but it was the agriculture, celebration year. And as you know, that His late Majesty was, he was very wise. He was, specializing each year for something, or for for a context. For example, 1 year was for the industry, 1 year for agriculture. So I think the first one I remember was for the agriculture, and then there was a celebration. I am originally from Nizwa, of course. There was a celebration in Nizwa, and then we were in school. We were not, because we were, probably at that time, I think I was in the 5th grade. So they did not allow us to go out of the school to celebrate. They said only like maybe probably 7th grade and above can go. So what we did, me and my friends, we jumped from the from the school wall and to go and celebrate that year. So that's why I remember it very well. I remember that was the first time I go and I celebrate the Omani National Day as the first time. And of course, I remember also that I participated in 1994 show for His late Majesty in Nizwa. There was the heritage, the year. So I was also there in the show.
Dr. Ismail, very important question for you is, was it worth jumping off the wall for that National Day celebration?
Of course, this is a National Day, so nobody would like to miss a National Day celebration, and that although we were young, but we still had that in our heart, oh, we have to go today. Everybody went except us, so no. Although we were young, we were like 5th graders, but we said, no, we have to go, we have to celebrate today. So I remember that day very well. And I think we have no money that day, just, you have your money, you used it in school, and then you have to go, and then we went walking like for 5 or 10 kilometers just to reach to the celebration area. And then we came back also walking from that celebration area. So that's, that's unforgettable, of course.
Dr. Ismail, you as a family or as an individual, do anything special or unique on the occasion of the National Day, not just this year, but in general?
Yeah, so in general, of course, it's always a special day. Today, when my kids wake up to go to school, they said they wanted to dress in the national dress. So we wake up very early, and I helped them to put this masar, and they dressed in the Omani dress today. So we went together. They went to school together, and my daughter had dressed just like your dress in very traditional Omani dress. Okay, and then all of them were, of course, very happy. They prepared things for the school today for celebration. When we came back, also they're getting ready to go to. I think there will be a firework today. Of course, also we didn't miss today His Majesty's speech. Was very, very important speech, and was of a surprise to us. We didn't know that there will be a speech today. So also it was was a surprise that we could hear the speech today for His Majesty. We were sitting all together and hearing that wonderful speech that he gave.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Ismail, for taking out time on this special and momentous occasion to celebrate 50th National Day with us. It really was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best for the rest of your show and with the rest of your guests. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wishing you and your family a very happy 50th National Day.
Wearing a seatbelt is a terrible idea.
Hey, it's a terrible, terrible idea. They're calling it a violation of human rights.
For me, it saved my life. That wasn't the day to die, basically.
Under the royal directive of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Saeed bin Taimur, may his soul rest in peace, a master economic plan was designed and planned for the Sultanate of Oman, along with the participation of Oman's leading representatives from all the segments of society, which included different entities, private sector, civil society organizations, and individuals from all the governorates. The plan is already underway, under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, may God protect him, who is personally leading it as head of Oman 2040 Main Committee. Oman Vision 2040 is a plan for economic diversification, which aims to move Oman from oil and gas-based sources of income and has earmarked for development in many sectors that have high growth potential and economic returns, such as mining, energy, transport, logistics, tourism, manufacturing, agriculture, and fisheries. The Oman Vision 2040 is grounded on pillars, which represent the genuine Omani values and wishes, and these pillars are distributed in four main categories: people and society, enhancing family and community health and well-being; social welfare, equitable access to health and well-being; supporting women, the youth, and the people with special needs; empowering civil society organizations; upholding the Omani identity and heritage, the basis for Omanis to deal with globalization; developing the national technical and entrepreneurial capabilities; empowering citizens by equipping them with a high degree of scientific, technological, and practical capabilities; economy and development, creating wealth through economic diversification and private sector partnership; ensuring balanced governance development; preserving environment sustainability, building a world-class infrastructure and livable cities. Governance, improving the efficiency of government agencies and increasing coordination among them. Enhancing citizens' confidence by creating an institutional framework that enacts laws and practices. Environmental and natural resources. Ecological systems that are effective, balanced, and flexible to protect the environment and sustain its natural resources in support of the national economy. A state with responsible apparatus, adopting comprehensive governance, effective oversight, swift judiciary, and effective performance.
Welcome back to On Scene, powered by Volvo. We are here at W Muscat Hotel located in Shati Kurum, and this beautiful dress courtesy to Zafaf. Joining us today again is a very interesting guest. Let's welcome Mr. Abdul Wahab Al Busaidi. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Wishing you a very happy 50th National Day.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Nadia. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be here.
It's absolutely our honor to have you, sir, and you just look spectacular.
Thank
Now
you.
I feel like we're actually having a celebration.
Yeah, I hope so. Really, but first of all, please allow me to, express my deepest greetings and salutations to His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and the people of Oman and you and your colleagues on this very special occasion of the 50th National Day for Oman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul Wahab, for taking out time and driving all the way from your house to W Muscat. But I'm sure the hotel is so beautiful that it will make you feel comfortable and it will make you feel at home as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, Mr. Abdul Wahab, talking about the 50th National Day,
Yes.
50 years is a big number.
It is.
How does it feel to be a part of this momentous occasion?
Madiha, I've been celebrating literally the National Day from 1970 at the age of 5. So every year means a lot. So I remember in those days, whenever we had, like a 5th year or 10th year, it will be something major. Nationwide, guests used to come and children will participate in stadiums and, there'll be a lot of activities, but we understand right now for this situation, we're not able to do that. But every year means a lot. But of course, 50, half a century, it is a very, very big milestone, and I wish the people of Oman, by all means, to continue prosperity and happiness and maintain this, gleam of ours, of this character of ours, which is based on peace, tranquility, friendliness, and so on.
Mr. Abdul Wahab, you are from a very distinctive field, Oman Astronomical Society.
That's right.
Back then, if you look at 50 years, was there a concept of this society?
Absolutely not. Madiha, there was no concept, to be honest with you, even of basic things like roads, which I'm sure you have heard about, of schools. So we lacked those basic things. So to achieve, this milestone of having an astronomical society, whereby you have a dedicated committee and members, in their thousands, who go out and observe the deep sky and contribute, not only locally but throughout the region, and even internationally in the field of astronomy and the universe and cosmology. So I'm very proud and to see young Oman is now joining this field and enjoying this beautiful, you can call it even mind-boggling and blowing, but it's a beautiful field, really.
Right. You just mentioned, Mr. Abdul Wahab, that back then there was no concept, and now today, recently there was a news that Oman is actually preparing for the space mission.
Absolutely. I mean, Oman, we have, thanks to the dedicated government institutions, they have put in place a plan, really, to keep us ahead of this space. You can even call it competition. And we had this famous, what you call Mars expedition here in the Dhofar region in 2018. It was very successful, and it was only recently that the whole report was released. So Oman has been on the spotlight when it comes to space missions, space technology, and even participating in as astronauts. So all that is in the pipelines.
So back then when you were actually pursuing this as a career, what were the feedback from your family, and how were people looking at you when you said that you are interested in astronomy?
Yeah, well, Madiha, I mean, astronomy has been in our culture for thousands of years. As you know, whenever you go out at night in Oman, especially before we had these lights and so on, you could admire the beauty of the sky by looking at the constellations, the stars, the planets. So there was an interest. There was always a folk stories and like you can call them parables and discussions, but it was not scientifically based, at least in those days where we were. But come now and you have people, young men in their 20s and 30s, owning literally very sophisticated telescopes of their own, let alone that belongs to the PDO or other places. So we have come very, very far, to be honest. We are very advanced now.
When you see this journey, from scratch to now, you just mentioned that people own on individual level some really high-end telescopes. And I remember, Mr. Abdul Wahab, that during our solar eclipse transmission, there were few guests who actually had their own personal telescopes, and they went up in the sands or somewhere to actually see the solar eclipse.
Absolutely. So there was a gathering last year in December, when we had on the 26th this famous eclipse of the sun, and people gathered from around the world. I think we had hundreds of people participated by the beach in Ras Madraka, and individuals brought their own telescopes. Oman Astronomical Society brought a number of telescopes. There were presentations, there were discussions, and for a while we were on the spotlight, and I was very impressed to see very highly sophisticated presentations from the young Omanis.
Now, when you see these young Omanis, getting into Oman Astronomical Society or astronomy as a career, how do you feel? Back then when you said there was nothing, and now it's booming to the extent that the Mars expedition happened in 2018, and now space mission is in talks. How do you feel when you see that progress?
I'm really proud. I'm really proud. And this reminds me of our founding father, Sultan Qaboos, who laid this, what you call as a roadmap for us. From the day he took over, he wanted to see Oman not only in education and in science and even in arts, in whatever field. He wanted Omanis to be in front. And regarding your question, how I feel very proud, and I can see our current Sultan taking over this steering, or taking over this leadership with perfect transition that took place that even surprised world leaders all over. That's us, that's Oman. We are based on truthful, on tolerance, on understanding, and this allows us to achieve a lot in terms of science and technology, which I'm really involved in.
Right. So talking about science and technology and astronomy in particular, are there any other segments, any other fields that you would actually urge or request the upcoming generation or youth to look into to actually broaden the horizon of the astronomy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to begin with, the opportunities are there. And as they say, sky is the limit. So in fact, there is no limit, to be honest with you. Even the sky is not your limit. The universe is your limit. There are no boundaries. There are no limits. So any young man or any young woman, girl, who wants to pursue the technology and astronomy, it's open, and they can pursue it and advance it at their own level, whether it's through education or through practical sessions.
Mr. Abdul Wahab, I cannot help but ask you, I am completely just mesmerized looking at this beautiful stick that you're holding that has a crown shape on the top, I believe. Could you tell us a little about this stick?
Well, Oman is part of our culture, not only the khanjar, but also the sticks. So, the stick meant a lot in the past. So it was used, by goats, herdsmen to bring, animals into their places. But also it's a sign of, prestige. So this particular one was given to me as a gift. And as you can see, it's decorated with silver and so on. Yeah, so I'm very happy to have it and celebrate this very special occasion, with you at this place.
And now we actually spoke about the stick. I also want to ask about the khanjar. The khanjar I have seen everybody, all the Omanis wearing on these special and formal occasions. And are these khanjars, do they vary from region to region or vilayat to vilayat, or it's a standard khanjar that signifies some kind of meaning in the country?
No, they do vary from region to region. I mean, this particular one is known as the Saidi khanjar, and it's one of the most common ones. But there are a number of different khanjars, like for example in Sur or in Batana region, they have kind of their own style. Some of them use horns, some of them use ivory, some of them use even rhinoceros horns. So it comes in different shapes, but at the end of the day it's a khanjar and it's a symbol of Oman, and we are very proud of it, really.
Really gets to me is when I see the little kids wearing these khanjar and holding the sticks. I actually happened to see some of the kids in the morning at the studio. The girls were dressed in their beautiful Omani clothes, and the small kids were wearing these khanjars and sticks in their hand. It was just so beautiful to see that at this age they know the importance of the culture, the importance of what they truly are.
Absolutely. And one of the things Madiha, Oman is unique about is that we have kept our culture. It's true that we have advanced, as you can see, this major infrastructure that we have, from airports to hotels to roads, hospitals, education, and back again to science and technology. But at the same time, we have maintained our culture, our tradition, and really we would like it to pass on to the next generation after generation. And among the most important culture of all, for me personally, is the idea of loving and being friendly and being tolerant and accepting anyone who comes, regardless of their background, regardless of who they are. We live as one unit, as one sort of family here in Oman and whenever we meet everywhere in the world.
Before you, Mr. Abdul Wahab, I had a guest, Engineer Ali Al-Barwani, and I was telling him the same thing, that as an expat, I did not feel like that this celebration is only limited to the Omanis living in the country. But I felt like this is a part of my celebration, so I started greeting everyone, happy 50th National Day. And I felt so connected on the National Day, so I truly endorse what you're saying, that this celebration brings everyone together, and definitely it is for everyone.
Last year, a quick one, at this time I was in Kuala Lumpur, November 2019, and I put on my Omani dress along with my friend, and we were just walking by the Twin Tower, and a man, elderly man from Punjab, India, stopped us and he hugged both of us. He said, I was dreaming to meet Omanis. I heard so much about the friendliness, the kindness, so it makes you feel really good about it. So we want to maintain it and even improve if we have got any drawbacks. Nobody's perfect. We would like to improve and make people happy.
Unfortunately this year coronavirus actually took over the world, and particularly the celebration in the Sultanate, because I'm sure everybody had grand plans for the 50th National Day in Oman. People were a little upset, they were still looking forward to some celebration, but knowing the importance of the health and safety at this particular time, the plans were halted, the celebration got limited. Yet the spirits are really high of people in the Sultanate. What do you have to say to them on this occasion?
Wallah, I have to say to them, just 3-4 hours ago, His Majesty gave a speech and he mentioned this very thing that you talked about, that we would have loved to celebrate this in its widest form, in stadiums and in gatherings. But for every situation there are rules that we have to follow, and this pandemic has truly stopped us from carrying those celebrations, but it has not stopped our spirits, our feelings, and our intention and aspiration. And with the good news coming soon, we'll have vaccinations and all, life will be back to normal, and God willing we'll celebrate 51, 52 and so on, in a bigger and better way, God willing.
Inshallah, very soon. Last thing, what are your plans for the National Day? Is there anything that you as a family or an individual do on this particular day?
Yes, we do, Madiha. I mean, personally, me and my children have decorated our house and our patio with flags, with the portraits of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, may Allah Ta'ala have mercy on his soul, and Sultan Haytham. we put, things like balloons and things. So tomorrow is the big day for us. We will be only us. So we'd love to have our friends, families, but unfortunately it will be within the family. But we will have a big cake, as big as possible, to celebrate this very special occasion. So, and yeah, we'll take pictures and remember it. So we want to do it within the family, and remember this very, very special occasion for a long time to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul Wahab Al-Busaidi, once again for joining us, for taking out time and being a part of this celebration.
Thank you for having me, Madiha. I appreciate it, and it's been an honor.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
The 50th anniversary is a moment to reflect on the remarkable transformation that has taken place in Oman over those last 50 years under the leadership of His late Majesty Sultan Qaboos. And it's also an opportunity to look forward to the next stages in Oman's development and transformation under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and his very clear vision as set out in Vision 2040 and in his speech in February of this year as to the future of Oman. The UK is a long-standing and very close friend of Oman and will be with Oman as it moves forward towards realizing that vision over the coming years.
We have strong ties in other areas as well, in education, in sports, and our people have a lot of values also in common. We respect peace, we respect the family, we respect neighbors and everyone's ability to live as they wish. And I know that the Omani people also are dedicated to that and to peaceful relations with all neighbors in the region, and this is what we wish as well. So we have a good, strong basis to further our relationships. They're strong, but they will get stronger. We are looking forward to exchanges that we will hopefully put together in the areas of youth, culture, and sport, which are all areas I think we can agree on are places where our people can get to know each other even better than they do and foster the kinds of ties that we're looking forward to achieving going forward in keeping with His Majesty's Vision 2040 strategy.
And let me take this opportunity to extend warm greetings and felicitations to His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, to the government and friendly people of Oman. I would also like to take this opportunity to pay tribute to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said Al Said, who was a visionary leader who transformed Oman into a modern and prosperous nation. He was also the architect of India-Oman relationship. I am sure under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, Oman will continue to march forward on the path of progress and prosperity, and India will remain a close friend and partner of Oman in this journey.
Of course, Oman is our maritime neighbor, and Pakistan and Oman, both countries attach great importance for promoting bilateral relationship between the two countries. And we have a shared history. We have shared religious history, we have shared cultural history, we have shared linguistic history. So of course, with these common factors, Pakistan and Oman enjoy a great brotherly relationship. For this 50th National Day celebrations and joining this is one of the landmark in the history of Oman. So this is an extremely important event, and I also thank His Majesty and the government for allowing almost 200,000 Pakistanis to happily reside and work in this country and contributing in various sectors of the economy. And on behalf of my community, I also want to convey best wishes to His Majesty and the government of Oman.
Wearing a seatbelt is a terrible idea.
It's a terrible, terrible idea. They're calling it a violation of human rights.
For me, it saved my life. That wasn't the day to die, basically.
Welcome back to On Scene, powered by Volvo. We are here at W Muscat Hotel celebrating the 50th National Day in the Sultanate. Now the hotel is located on the coastal of Shati Koram, so make sure to pass by here and check out their new offer, the staycation offer that is being promoted right now, which is just for 65 Omani Riyals plus, including breakfast for 2 adults and early check-in and late check-out. For more inquiries and reservations, do check out their social media accounts for inquiries and reservations. Now moving on with the show, let's welcome our next guest. Let's welcome Captain Talibel Wahabi, the chairman of Oman Haki Association. Thank you so much, Captain Talib, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Madiha, for giving me this opportunity.
Wishing you a very happy 50th National Day.
Thank you very much, and I would wish you exactly the same. Nice to hear it from you. Wishing all the Omanis as well. And I would like to take this opportunity to wish His Majesty Sultan Haytham on our Golden Jubilee year, 50th National Day, to our beloved country and the whole of Omanis.
Thank you so much, Captain Talib. Now, you know, we are celebrating the 50th National Day in the Sultanate. How do you feel Oman turning 50 today?
Oman is turning young 50 today, as young as 50. That I will call it, due to the transition of the power in Oman and with His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Saeed taking the lead with a new vision to the country. To this, for I call Oman as young as 50 years old, in our love, and God take his soul into, rest his soul into peace, Sultan Qaboos bin Saeed. Thank you.
Captain Talib, looking at these 50 years, do you remember celebrating your first National Day? Do you have any memories that you would like to share with us?
I have a lot of memories of National Days. That is right from the 1971 onward till 1983 or 84 when I was in UK. My first celebration of first National Day, I was a very tiny little boy winning the 100-meter sprint in a Saidiyya school in Muscat, and that was the first time I shook the hand of the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. But throughout the years, I have participated in many years and occasions during the National Day, and we always been looking forward for the National Day to come, that we can skip school for a couple of hours.
You know, Captain Talib, you're not my first guest today who's actually talking about skipping schools and looking forward to National Day. We had Dr. Ismail Al-Abri from Royal Hospital joining us, and he shared a very funny story that he was in grade 5th, and at that time, I think it was 92 or 93, he mentioned that only certain grades were allowed to participate in the National Day celebrations, but he, with his few friends, they actually climbed off the wall of the school to be a part of the National Day celebrations.
Yes, that do happen, but what I'm talking is totally different. I think at the early years of the 70s, as the Sultanate is growing day by day, the facility was limited, the facility was less, and the teacher used to be so harsh on us. So when they take us to the training for the National Day, that couple of hours actually, we are always happy to be out of the classroom.
Captain Talib, you just mentioned that, you know, back in 70s until now, you have been seeing Sultanate grow day by day, year by year. How do you see the progress and development over these 50 years?
You see, I think the strategy has been put up for Oman by the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, and it will be continued by Sultan Haytham, inshallah. It was put that to develop every day. So if you come to Oman in 1980 and you come back in 1981, you will not recognize that street you have walked last year in. The development in Oman was in a very quick succession and progressing very fast as well. I think the strategy was put The years His Majesty used to mention, like I remember 1983 was the year of youth. And 10 years later in 1993, again the year of youth, and the industrial year, the farmer year, the development. That's how he developed it too. The whole government concentrate that year for that vision kept by His Majesty for that time of that period. And that's how the development, the youth today we see how many stadiums we have. They're all been done in very short time.
Talking about stadium that you just mentioned, Captain Talib, and you are the chairman of Oman Hockey Association in the country. Could you shed some light on the journey of the Oman Hockey Association? Because if I'm not wrong, back in 1970s, hockey was not a very popular sport in the country.
You are wrong, Madiha. Very much wrong. The hockey in Oman started in 1914. Along with the lawn tennis as well as the cricket. The cricket has stopped, but the hockey has continued. And basically the royal family member, the people who had brought up the hockey into a very good level in Oman. In 1970, His Majesty has Oman with the Sultan's Cup, and that has been played for the last 50 years. And hoping to play this year, despite all this pandemic going around, we're looking forward to play our 50th Cup.
So knowing that hockey has been so popular in the Sultanate, how did football took over this game? But I have to commend one thing, Captain Talib, that I have been following hockey tournaments in the Sultanate since the time I came here, and I must say that it is a very festive and very celebratory gathering, because a lot of countries and the national teams participate, and people in big quantity, big numbers actually come to the stadium to watch the match, which was, to my surprise, was honestly a shock, because I thought that football was the only popular sport that people would be interested.
Madiha, there are 7 billion people living on this planet. And football is the #1 sport worldwide. The FIFA is like a huge country with a member of over 200 countries in it. So the hockey, definitely, and any other sport cannot compete with the football around the world today. But when we come to Oman, hockey was well before the football, but the football as well came. And in 1970, His Majesty honored the football as well as hockey with Sultan Cup, and the only two sports are honored with this cup.
And do you see the youth currently participating and signing up for hockey and clubs, hockey clubs in the country? Do you see a good number of people, coming in and joining this sport?
No. The reason for that, hockey, when I learned hockey, I learned it from a school. Hockey is such a delicate type of game which you have to learn right from the start. Between 6 years and 10 years, you should really start the basic of hockey. The second thing, the hockey material like hockey stick, shoes, shin guard, and all this thing, they're very expensive to compare with the football stuff and any other sport. And that's why this game must come back to school and must start from the school again. We've been playing it in Oman. There've been many clubs playing it, and I remember in 1994 when I was coaching Al Ahli club and reaching the Sultan Cup final, it was again many clubs, but because the school stopped it from their syllabus, it went out.
Captain Talib, I really like the point you mentioned that hockey, being a delicate sport, should be taught at school level. Do you think the school management and schools in the country should actually opt for hockey in their school system?
We are trying to work very closely with the school association, school sport association, and we as a Oman Hockey Association, we should help them in getting some of the equipment for the youngster to give them for free, and to make sure the hockey should come back into school. Yes, I think the school must And that's from where all the Olympic and whatever player come out of schools.
Captain Talib, we know that it's COVID-19. A lot of things have been halted in the country, and I'm sure there were plans for hockey tournaments and hockey matches in the country. Can we expect to see that festivity again in the future?
I think in the past 3 years we have done a lot of that. Like we had the Congress, we did the Asian Champion Trophy, 2 Asian games. I think we cannot compete every time with country who wanted to host. Now you see the upcoming World Cup, India is hosting it. And I don't think we're in position in Oman to host that World Cup in comparison with India, but there are Pakistan, Malaysia, South Korea, Japan, Australia, they're all. We have competed last 3 years and we've managed to clinch some of them, especially the Champion Trophy played in Muscat in 2018, October. And again, with the pandemic now, the FIH as well as the AHF, they're postponing most of the tournament on due to Corona.
Now, Captain Talib, we are still celebrating the 50th National Day, and on that note, I want to ask your plans. What exactly are your plans for the 50th National Day celebrations? Is there anything unique or particular that you do with your family?
The question is, I'll tell you, after very, very long time, I am out of Muscat during the National Day. I'm sitting at home in India, but I think my wife is looking at me. She's going to make a cake, as she said, with the Oman flag, and we're going to cut it tomorrow. We've been busy today at home, but we have greeted everybody back in Muscat.
I'm sure you are deeply missed here in the Sultanate and wish you could be here joining us in person for this celebration, Captain Talib. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for taking out time, especially being overseas and taking out time and being part of this celebration.
Thank you very much, Madiha, for giving me this opportunity to sit and face you on the computer here and talk to you back home there in Oman. And again, I would love to greet His Majesty Sultan Haytham on the occasion of our Golden Jubilee year for Oman. Oman is growing a young 50 years old today. And I still say, no one is growing. Your heart is there. Oman's heart is open to everybody. And it's a very peaceful country. Thank God to everybody who ruled us. And I wish Sultan Haytham a long live, and we'll see him again and again during all those upcoming National Day. And thank you very much. Hope you enjoy Muscat there, and I'm enjoying here. We have a lot of lightning here as well at home.
Thank you so much, Captain Talib, for actually hosting the festivities back home as well.
Well, we did a lot of lightning at home. My daughter engaged in doing all the lightning, green, red, and white.
Thank you so much. On that spirit, Captain Talib, we'll see you off now.
Oman Vision 2040 is a perfect initiative to create an even more prosperous future of Oman. Its firm determination to develop this country in economy, society, culture, and youth should be praised. The Sultanate of Oman represents unparalleled potentiality. Not only does it have natural and human resources within the country, but also it is located in the very center of the huge, vast economic field from Asia to Africa. Japan would be very honored and very excited to continue our cooperation with Oman to build even a brighter future of this beautiful country under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq.
On the occasion of 50th National Day of Sultanate, I would like to deliver the warmest greetings to the government and people of Sultanate Oman. This year we have experienced unprecedented crisis because of COVID-19. However, the Sultanate fought very effectively on the leadership of wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham. Taking this opportunity, I would like to deliver my best wishes to His Majesty, good health and great leadership for the further best for the future. On behalf of Korean people, I remain dedicated to work hard for the fostering the good partnership with Oman and Korea. I wish you all the best, and I hope that you feel the festive and congratulatory spirit in a safe manner.
The Philippines and Oman established bilateral relations in 1980, and we continue to maintain a strong relationship in the political and economic fronts. Now these ties are further enhanced by the presence of around 45,000 Filipinos who have made Oman their second home. The embassy is grateful to the Sultanate for the friendship and hospitality to the Filipinos who have, as I said earlier, have made Oman their second home, and many of them have been in the Sultanate for decades now. And it has remained to be a favored destination in the Gulf for our workers, not only due to the wonderful employment opportunity that they have here, but more so because of the Sultanate's culture of understanding, acceptance, and tolerance.
On behalf of the Royal Thai Embassy, the Thai people, and the Thai community in the Sultanate of Oman, I would like to extend our congratulations to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq for this occasion of the National Day of Oman. Under His Majesty's guidance, leadership, and vision, I do believe that Oman will develop to become the country of peace, unity, stability, and prosperity.
I'm deeply honored to extend my warmest greetings to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, Hafizahullah, the government and the people of the Sultanate of Oman on the historic occasion of the Golden Jubilee of Oman. In fact, the Sultanate of Oman has been transformed into a truly progressive, tolerant and peaceful nation under the visionary leadership of late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said rahimahullah, who planted the seeds of growth 50 years ago.
بسياسة عمان الخارجية القائمة على الحياة وحسن الجوار وعدم التدخل في شؤون الآخرين وحل النزاعات بالطرق السلمية والودية. كل عام وأنتم بخير. حفظ الله عمان حكومة وشعبا وسلطانا.
Wearing a seatbelt is a terrible idea.
It's a terrible, terrible idea. They're calling it a violation of human rights.
For me, it saved my life. That wasn't the day to die, basically.
Welcome back to On Seat, powered by Volvo. We are here at W Muscat celebrating this momentous occasion, the 50th National Day in the Sultanate. Joining us again is a very interesting guest. Let's welcome Hiba Al-Falahi. Thank you so much, Hiba, for joining us today and wishing you a very happy 50th National Day.
Thank you for having me and happy National Day.
Thank you. So Hiba, we know that you are working at a very interesting organization, Love Oman, if I'm not wrong.
Adopting Love Oman, actually.
Adopting Love Oman. So can you tell us a little about your organization?
Yeah, so Adopting Love Oman is actually more of a community and more a forum where people can talk about adoption in each and every area specifically because it's a very broad range. Adoption covers everything from a child's life to the parents adopting. They were calling this kid, this baby, 1-year-old, with a really ugly name. It was a name that means picked up from the floor. Oh. So that's really, like, we were talking about it a lot, that we need to do something to tell the community and society about adoption, how they should deal with it, because nobody actually has an idea about what adoption is and how to deal with people who are adoptees, how to talk about it. So what happened is, I got upset and I was talking to Fatin and I spoke in the family group. I'm like, why would you call a child who didn't do anything that name? And what happened is we ended up creating this just so we can tell the community how does it feel to be adopted, what is adoption, and how we feel inside us, in our emotions, affections in the society, how the society portrays it. So we try to spread awareness about adoption in every aspect.
That is a very heart-touching story. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hiba, for sharing such a beautiful story with us. So, you just mentioned about the journey of adopting Love Oman.
Yeah.
How you just mentioned how it started. I'm sure there were challenges on your way that you and Fatin faced together.
We did, but not when it comes to the community, actually. We got very, very little negative feedback. We were surprised. We were actually waiting for people to tell us, oh, this, or attack us or something. But the community was actually very supportive. Everybody was supportive. And we managed to connect with a lot of families around the GCC in Bahrain, Kuwait, in UAE, in Qatar, and Morocco, and Egypt. I remember also once Palestine, and it is such a beautiful experience to be able to share our stories with each other, and we do it on Zoom. And we know a lot of adoptees also from all the GCC countries and the Arab countries. We're hoping to spread out and bring out a huge community of all of us where all of us can get to know each other. Because it's different when you have somebody who is adopted and knows exactly what you went through. So we're able to talk openly, and when I say something, that person immediately gets it. And when we meet adoptees for the first time, they have a lot of questions. Do you feel this way? Do you feel that way? Does this happen to you? And it's beautiful that people are able to express, because here everybody just keeps quiet and keeps to themselves, and they do not speak about it. There are a lot of people who are not open about their adoption at all. Right. And that is very sad, because I feel special to be adopted. I feel special to be in here today, and I feel special that I have the ability to educate everybody and share my experiences for people to actually know what adoption is and get a better idea and demolish the taboo.
Right, all the best with that.
Thank you.
Now, Hiba, talking about your organization, how does it really work? Like, how do people approach you? And you said it's a non-profit organization.
Of course.
So how do you guys tackle or handle the issues?
We have an Instagram account called Adopting Love Oman. And we also have a website, adoptingloveoman.com. And in the website, we have a blog that tells the stories of all the adoptee individuals from childhood. They're able to express their emotions there and their story. And in the Instagram, we have also on Facebook. We're mostly active on Instagram, so people approach us from there, and we talk about it. We put our stories in Instagram, but the whole story is always in the blog, online. So people communicate with us through the website and through the Instagram account and sometimes Facebook. Facebook is not that active. People do not communicate with us a lot through there.
Right, but thanks to technology that people are actually communicating with you,
Thank
at least
God.
through these social media platforms.
Yeah, we're very happy.
So what kind of feedback and response are you getting, and what kind of questions are really occurring when people are approaching you?
There are a lot of people who wanted to adopt, so whenever they say, oh, we're interested in adopting, we actually have a group of mothers. There's a group called Born in Our Hearts, mothers that they say, we didn't give birth to you, so you're born in our heart. And these group of mothers have an account called Jannati, so immediately we tell them you can contact these mothers and they'll give you everything that you need to know. And mashallah, they give it all. Like, they're such loving mothers. And also the other issue is that people have different concepts of what is adoption here in Oman, because there's different types apparently. There is one that is because we do not take the name of our fathers. We take the last name but not the name of our father according to Islamic rules and regulations, and I hope there's a good reason for that. But so that is not permitted. So people would come and say this is not supposed to happen. So we explain to them that it's actually in the Islamic way, because everybody has a different concept. They do not know that Oman actually follows the regulations of Islam.
Right.
So that's why adoption is actually not prohibited. And other than that, people just approach and they just want to talk about their stories. They want to talk to us and get to know us. Other mothers, we actually go on Zoom video calls and meetings to teach the mothers and tell them about our experiences. We're actually a group of like maybe 14 adoptees or even more. And we're very active. There are some that are not, that I did not mention, not from the 14. And we always go on Zoom calls and they ask us a lot of personal questions. How do you feel when this happened? What should we do? And from our responses, they do that to their kids. And
Right.
and I really, really, really recommend that all the parents should tell their children as soon as they understand. When they know ABCD, you tell them their story gradually, because there's a lot. The biggest issue is all the adoptees here, most of them do not know that they're adopted, and that could create a huge problem in their psychological state. It can lead to depression, and it can cause a huge issue in identity. We all had to go into a big roller coaster to deal with our identity, because you know, we're adoptees, we don't know where we come from. And the parents that are taking care of us are not from our blood. We don't look like them. So it's nice for us to be able to swallow that information from a young age and know that, so we can deal with it better. So that's my advice, and I hope all you parents listen to me.
So Hiba, I'm glad you mentioned this, because I was just going to ask you, like, do you get these questions from people who are approaching you that they were not informed that they were adopted and they found out later, and that was a, you know, like another disaster, like mentally, psychologically they were disturbed? Does it happen, and do you recommend people to actually inform their kids when they're adopted, when they understand the word adoption, to actually introduce them to this world that adoption is okay, it's normal, it's not a taboo?
Of course, of course. It's a huge problem. It's one of the biggest problems that we hope, because the parents get really scared. They think that if you tell your child that, oh, I did not give birth to you and I'm not your real biological mother or father, they think that will decrease the love. But no, love is based on honesty and truth. People should love each other no matter what. But blood is not everything. Like, I know I have a mother and she is my mother more than my biological parents.
Right.
So, like, even if I meet my biological parents one day, they will never be able to fill the shoes of my parents who raised me and took care of me. So the parents do not know that, and a lot of we have adoptees in our group that their parents did not tell them. They had to figure it out themselves.
Right.
And it took them a while to confront their parents, and it is very emotional. Of course, it's a huge topic. So building it in honesty is the best choice. Honesty is always the way to go.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to a relationship, honesty is the best thing. But I'm so glad, Hiba, to you and to Fatin, the co-founder, that you both are doing such incredible job, and you have actually taken this initiative in the Sultanate and trying to demolish this taboo, not just in the country, but across to other countries that you guys are reaching out to. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Actually, we're very honored, and it's not just me and Fatin. We have a huge backbone from mothers who adopted and adoptees like us, and we have a lot of support groups, and it's not just me and Fatin. It's amazing. We're very honored to be a part of this, to be honest.
Well, thank you so much, Hiba, for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you in person and getting to know about this wonderful organization.
Thank you so much.
Wishing you once again a very happy 50th National Day, and as well as to your family.
Same to you.
Omanis and Germans look back on a long history of friendship and good cooperation. And indeed, we share common values, in particular when we look at the international order. I think COVID-19 has made it clear to everybody that global challenges require global responses. So we need to strengthen the international system. And Oman and Germany, together we believe that we need more multilateralism and international cooperation rather than less.
Oman has traveled a long way in the last 50 years. Since the beginning of what Omanis call the Renaissance, and they have created under the leadership of Sultan Qaboos a modern country, a country that counts in the region, and it is obvious that under the leadership of Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, this path will be followed. And I wish the best to His Majesty and to the Omani nation.
I also would like to express my congratulations, respect and admiration to the people of Oman on the occasion of their 50th anniversary of a reborn Oman. And I also would like to wish His Majesty the Sultan a very successful and long reign to bring Oman from the Renaissance to a very bright future.
In celebration of the 50th National Day of Oman, we look back with respect and admiration for what Oman and its people have accomplished. And we look forward to the future in confidence and in trust. Not only confident that Oman will carry on its path to further stability and prosperity for all. Also confident that the friendship with the Netherlands will continue.
أنا بحب أعجبني هذا البلد جميل البلد أنيق بين كل دول منطقة الخليج. خلال هذه الزيارات أنا شفت حياة يومية للأومانيين زرت عدد كبير من عائلات أومانية وشعب أوماني لطيف جدا لطيف وعايز ممكن تعايش ممثلين من دول مختلفة وممثلين من أديان المختلفة بسلام ومن هذه النوعية السلطنة نموذج كويس بالمقارنة ممكن دول عربية الأخرى.
Wearing a seatbelt is a terrible idea.
It's a terrible, terrible idea. They're calling it a violation of human rights.
For me, it saved my life. That wasn't the day to die, basically.
Welcome back to On Scene, powered by Volvo. We are here at W Muscat, hosting, in fact, celebrating the 50th National Day at this beautiful vicinity. I must say the celebration had been amazing at this amazing hotel, which is absolutely spectacular. Do not forget that they have the staycation offer running right now, which is just 65 Omani Riyals plus. That includes breakfast for 2 adults as well as early check-in and late checkout. Don't forget to view their offers on their social media accounts and their website. Having said that, we have come to the end of the episode for today. The courtesy for this beautiful attire courtesy goes to Zafaf Boutique, which is located in Mawale, and the jewelry as well. And stay tuned. Having said that, stay tuned to TTV, because at 8 p.m. Antara Bose will be joining with the live fireworks from Al Amirat. So don't forget to watch the live fireworks on the 50th National Day, the glorious golden years of the Sultanate.